Hey everybody, Brad here with some inexpensive tips on prepping your home to sell. Now you don't always have to spend a lot in order to make your home more attractive to buyers. If you do spend a lot, let's face it, you're never really guaranteed you're going to be making that money back in your sale. So what's most important is that you spend your time and your money wisely. So, I'm going to go over a few low-cost ways to spruce up your home so that hopefully you'll be able to get tons of local buyers competing to send you offers. Step number 1, organize and clean. Believe it or not, this might be the most important thing that you can do. And I know that this might sound a little obvious to many of you, but I've walked through many homes that are listed at very high purchase prices where it wasn't just a question of the house seeming a little cluttered, but that the home was just absolutely filthy. So, your first step, do a complete cleaning of every room in your home. Don't forget to clean the windows, shampoo your carpets, remove any marks from your walls, and clean your lighting fixtures. Next, time to declutter. The less things you have in each room, the bigger those rooms are going to seem to your buyers. Maybe even more important is that it's going to allow buyers to imagine their things in the home instead of yours. Also, don't just throw it all in your closets. Remember, if someone's going to spend a lot of money to purchase your home, and we hope they will, you can definitely expect them to look in the closets. What you want to do is make sure the closets appear half full at most. Alright, tip number 2. Spruce up your curb appeal. Pretend you're a buyer. Once any of us have owned a home and we've lived in it for really any amount of time, the hardest thing to do is to step outside of our everyday perspectives and to try and see our homes through the eyes of a buyer who's seen it for the very first time. But this could be a very profitable thing for you to try and do. Now, start from the street and walk up to your front door. Try to be objective about your impression of the property. Make sure your lawn and your bushes look neatly manicured. Take a good look at your porch. Think about buying a new mailbox, a door knocker, a doormat, address numbers. Add a couple of large flower pots, or maybe a nice bench. Check the paint. You may not need to completely repaint the exterior of your home. Often a few touch-ups, or perhaps repainting the trim, the windows, the front door, can really make your house pop. Tip number 3. Paint the interior. Compared to the cost of many other home rehab projects, paint is cheap, but it can really make your home look new inside. Now, everybody talks about neutral colors. But let's face it, if every room is in a neutral color, it can really make the home lack any personality. So you don't have to avoid color altogether, but just try to keep the color subtle. Think about using some soft yellows or greens along with your neutrals. The idea is that you want buyers to notice the room rather than the walls. Personally, I don't recommend white. White walls and rooms often remind people of apartments rather than homes they might want to own. Also, a good tip is if you tint your ceilings a lighter shade than the walls, it's going to make your ceilings appear higher. Tip number 4. Pay special attention to the kitchens and the bathrooms. Now, I'm sure you've heard many times, these rooms can make or break a sale. So once again, declutter and make sure these rooms are nice and clean. Replace any cracked tiles you might have. Regrout if needed. Updating faucets, fixtures, cabinet pulls, these are things that can really make it seem as though these rooms were updated a lot more recently than maybe they might have been. So, these first few tips, they're all general good rules of thumb. They're a great place to start. But don't forget to get your realtor's opinion on what fixes are going to increase your odds of selling. He or she is going to be able to look at your home from an impartial standpoint. They're going to know what buyers in your area are going to respond to. Ron and I look at homes for sale every day, all day, and we'd like to think we've been a pretty useful resource to our sellers over the years. If you're in Los Angeles or the Los Angeles area and you're seriously considering selling your home, feel free to give us a call. We'll be happy to drop by, give you some tips about your particular home, along with a free home market analysis so that you can have a solid idea of how much you should be able to get for your home in the current market. And as always, feel free to call or email us with any real estate questions that you might have at any time. See you soon.